And welcome to the first stream of the week from the Millions North America here in Montreal. We are bringing you day 2 of the Montreal Open, this $1,000 buy-in event. As you can imagine, a feature table dominated by Canadians. Alright, Raymond under the gun. Makes it 180 to play, holding pocket jacks. Kelly in the hijack. Smooth calls, ace queen suited. Mark, speculative on the button. He peels with deuce 3 of hearts. Well, 10, 9, and 9. Sopheak flops top pair. Raymond's overpair is still the best hand out there. Sopheak's going to lead here with his pair.
300.
So he doesn't want it checking round. And Raymond with a quick jam. Sopheak now, well, played himself into a bit of a corner here. Good fold there from Sopheak. I don't really particularly like the lead that much, but when he's made the lead, he's found a good fold.
Raise 530,000.
It does raise, but pretty small, 530. I'd like to see him go a little larger here. We do go to a flop. And 10-5-3, all diamonds. Maxime flopping the flush. Sopheak with an overpair and a diamond. And he's gone big on the flop. 8-20, the C-bet. I think Maxime can just jam here. I think Sopheak ever bets this size and folds the flop. And he does do just that, and it'll be a quick call from Sopheak, and this is a pretty cold deck. Ace of spades on the turn. Does win Maxime this pot. Kelly on the button at King 9 of clubs, certainly worthy of a raise. Clearly itching to play back with that big stack. This time check 5 off against a button raise. King Jack 9, Kelly flopping 2 pair here, Mark with second pair. This could get him in a little bit of trouble against a player with a reputation like Kelly's. Does bet 175, and this is a flop she's going to bet a lot as the pre-flop raiser. Mark, as he should, makes the call. They see 6 on the turn, bings backdoor diamond draw. Kelly now with just question of sizing. And she goes for a half pot. Kelly going after his pairs. And Mark wastes no time in calling it. Certainly worthy of a bit of thought, this one. 10 on the end makes any queen a straight. Should be the end of the action here. Jack, no good. Again, he's gone slightly over 3x, but from the small blind here against a big stack on the button, you're going to want to favour a slightly larger sizing, something in the range of 4x or more. Little does he know Mark is this strong. Very broken board here. And Mark decides to check. Not a lot of danger on the board, so I don't mind mixing in the check here with some good hands like kings. Club on the turn. Mark checking once again. He is going to bet 700 into the 1.2 million chip pot. Pocket 10s, pocket jacks, 9s. Some random bluffs that have made one pair. 8 on the end, and no use to Gagan. It's hard to put Mark on such a strong hand the way this has played out. A big bet here you'd expect to work a lot of the time. He's got 1.3 million. half pot. Cool. And I don't know, Mark seems upset about that because it's a pretty juicy situation with an overpair on a broken board. Sopheak with king jack of spades. He's just going to rip it in off the short stack. Well, it's going to work out nicely for him. And Sai's going to isolate with a dominated hand. Kelly, of course, will get out of the way. And well, Sopheak's going to be overjoyed to see who he's up against. Sopheak covered stack. Jack 10-10. Sai needs to find a queen, but does have some chop chances. Well, picks up a straight draw on the turn, and that is what materializes on the river. Runner straight. We'll give Sai this pot. And Sopheak, the first man to bust out from this feature table this week. Ray, pocket tens. He is all in, and well, poor time for him because Chan sat behind with aces in the small blind. Well, he's gone 1.8. He's gone for a raise of basically half his stacks. Interesting. Well, gets through and raising to get the bad news. Needs to find a 10. King Jack 9, all hearts. Chan picks up the nut flush draw, but does give Ray a gut shot straight draw, which does not materialize. Ray taps the table and departs. $10-10-3. Well, this is gonna be fireworks between these two. Kelly defends with 10-7. Mark open 10-9. Wow, it's gone check on this flop. Kelly cutting out. Well, pretty big bet. I like this sizing. Just under 2/3 pot. Again, Mark has a lot of showdown value when he checks back this flop, you would expect. So when she bets, she has to go bigger to target that. Little does she know, she's betting into the dominating 10-9. Given you bet the 5-2 early, you'd expect him to bet and he flops strong, and wow, that is a deathly card. The only saving grace for Mark is that the flush draw on the turn has completed. Kelly praying that's what Mark has made with top full house. And well, he makes a swift call. He's lost a lot less in this pot than he was supposed to. If he'd bet this flop, this would have been a very big pot. Over 50 big steep. That's where things start to get fun. $6.75 the bet. Chan, king, queen. He's going to peel and see a flop. And well, the action killer comes out. Ace 3-4. Kelly is going to bet this flop. She's going to bet this flop with a huge percentage of her range. I'd imagine, given that she's betting jacks, she's just going to bet 100% in this spot, having been the 3-better from the small blind. But a lot of her bluffs pre-flop will be ace-x hands. Go with the king of diamonds and the prospect of still having the best hand. He does make the call. And then Kelly's going to have to slow down on a lot of her bluffs, as Chan himself has a fair amount of ace-x. Wow, and she's reaching for chips again with jacks. 700 the bet this time. Very surprised to see the turn bet. Almost a block bet. Sai limping in again from early position. This time king 10 of spades. Maxime quickly calling behind with his pocket 8. Kelly looks down at queen 9 of hearts. Alright, so the first 3 seats have limped. Gagandeep still away from the table. Mark, king 6 offsuit. Surely not Mark. Surely not. There we go. Diego with 10-7 suited in the small. He will complete. And Chanracy with 4s in the big gets the check. Try and flop a set as we go. And surprisingly, 5-way to a flop here on our feature table. Kelly is going to bet her top pair. Well, he'll take one of those right now. An ace, of course, would give him Broadway. 7 of clubs should slow things down here. Need to play with a club. Can't imagine Kelly's going to fire again. She does check back. Sai gets a free look into 3 of spades on the end. I think most of his flush draws would have been combo draws on the flop, so he would have levered them. Well, he does find the bluff, 750, and oh, really, what does Kelly beat? Only hand like King 10. And well, she's reaching for the chips, but this is a really tough spot. Just trying to work out really limp with low clubs. A 7 of clubs on the turn makes this an easier call than, say, if it was the deuce of clubs, because now he can't have a hand like 7, 8 of clubs. All the other club combos really flopped a straight draw to go with it, and so she does make the call. Oh, well worked out to make that call with top pair. Again, the presumption in Kelly's mind must be that she should expect Sai to be more aggressive on the flop with a combo draw. Oh, Kelly Minkin is now the table chip leader as we head to the 60,000, 120,000 level. David, of course, still the shortest with just 5 big blinds, and Sai not too far ahead after that failed bluff. Kelly with 9s. Action falls around to her in the small blind. She's going to raise it up this time, and Gagandeep with King Jack of Hearts. Expecting just a flat here. And we see King Jack 9. What a flop for this blind on blind encounter. Kelly with bottom set, Gagandeep with top 2 pair. Fireworks are sure to occur.
Bet 375.
Kelly bets 375. Gagan with the option now, whether just flat call here and let her continue to bluff in his eyes. Or does he raise now? 2 spades on board. A lot of scary cards could kill some of his action here. He does make the call. Both players funking for a brick on the turn. 7 of spades may slow things down here. As I still expect Kelly to bet her set. Gagandeep will just flat call now, again with top 2. Kelly's gone small, 600,000. Interesting sizing. Gagan, of course, calls with that top 2 pair. Red 6 on the end. Oh, Kelly checks. I like to see him go with a big sizing here. She did bet twice. Wow, he's checked back. Incredible that he has not lost more chips in this pot. I think that's exactly what Kelly's thinking. How have I not won more here? No. At least she did win the pot. Action to mark on the button. Ace 10 of hearts. About 25 big. Suspect he'll flat this. So he plays a lot of hands. This one's certainly playable. Does make the call of the minimum raise. Frank gives up his big with 3-4 offsuit. 10-8-6, 2 hearts. Mark, top pair, top kicker, nut flush draw. Chan with that overpair. A very wet board. Certainly a flop that favours the button peel over the early raiser. Chan does show quite a lot of strength when he bets this flop. Oh, he does decide just to move it in. Simplest way to play the hand. Well, Chan. All right, here we go. Chan makes the call. 7 million chip pot. And it is about as close as you can get to a flip. Queen, no use. A red card, but the deuce of diamonds on the end. Mark, who, well, started off this feature table as the most active player, now hits the rail. And Chanracy up to 10 million in chips. Action to Kelly. Under the gun +2. She raises up Queen Jack. Diego with 7s in the small though, he will play. Next the call, and Chan looks at 8-9 off in a big. He'll complete to take it 3-way. 9-4-3 as Chan takes the lead on this one. But it looks like a good flop for Diego's 7s. Both players check to Kelly, who, as we've seen, just keeps on up with the aggression. Bets 500k. And I expect she'll get called in both spots here. Wow, Diego just folds. Then keep on betting. As it happens, the fold is genius because Chanracy was sat behind with a 9. No pair, no draw. A bad card.
Bet 800,000.
And she fires again, 800 the bet. Oh, Chan not loving it, but this is just the call. Flush draw completes on the river. Chan checks once more. Here we go. Looks like 2.1 going in there. And now this is pretty horrible for Chanracy.
2.1 million.
Just trying to piece together what bluffs he can beat. There are missed diamonds. There are some turn straight draws.
That's like 5, 6. Maybe about the only hand that's any weaker. 4, 5, 3, 5. Well, there may of course any pair and straight draw combos. He does decide to let it go. Kelly up to 13.3 million with this 0 equity 3 street bluff. And with that, the blind's going up to 80,000, 160,000. Kelly on the button. Pocket jacks. Stretches across to the far end of her wall. Makes it 350 to play. Michael looks down at ace-6 off in the big blind. He does make the call. 8, 4, 3, 2 diamonds. Michael with the ace of diamonds. Oh, he's gonna take a stab here. Unorthodox line. Will Kelly trap? That's exactly what she's gonna do. Michael's sitting there going, why don't I just jam this pre? Get myself in an awkward spot. So I finds himself in a 1.8 million chip pot with ace-6. No pair, no draw. Does find the check on the turn. Kelly deciding how much to bet. She has to assume Michael has a hand he'll want to continue with. And the other hands have not put any chips in the pot anyway. So she's sizing up against draws and a hand like Atex. Maxime's turn with the aces. And he is going to get action as Gagandeep finds queens in the small blind. He's gone 1.4. He does move all in. Gagandeep will of course make the call with queens. Throws in the chip, not loving it. Gets the bad news. 10, 9, 7. No use for Gagandeep. 8 would give a split pot. Not to be. Suddenly, Maxime over 10 million in chips. And it goes 1.2 million. Don't mind the sizing. He's only playing 30 bigs. Doesn't have to go quite as big as if they were deeper. No, she's going to take a flop. King, deuce, deuce. Diego flops best here. This is a flop he's going to want to attack a lot as the 3-better pre. But this time he decides to check it back. And that is good night for him. Kelly turns 5s full. Checks it once again. Is Diego now going to bet?
1 million.
1 million is the bet.
Call.
She calls the 1 million. He may get away from this if she checks the river. Especially on a club.
Check.
Queen of clubs it is.
Check.
And he does check back, and yet again she's not really got full value in one of these spots.
5 full of deuces.
Diego lives to fight. She cuts out a 3-bet, 1.4 looks to be the number.
1 point for me.
Jack 10 offsuit. Chanracy is 7s. These two take the flop heads up. And she now takes the lead in the hand, flopping top pair and open a straight draw on a board that really does favour Chan's cutoff open and 3-bet peel. She does just keep betting. This is certainly a candidate to check call, but she decides to lead with it. 1.6 million. Chan, an underpair and a gut shot draw.
1.6.
Chanracy does make the call with his pair and gut shot straight draw. 9 on the turn. That's a bad card for Kelly. 10-9 of clubs, 10-9 of hearts be the favourites.
Do you have 2 stacks of yellow or orange or green? 2 stacks.
Surely now she has to check. Always wants a surprise. She is firing once more. 2.35 million. And surely Chanracy has to give up now.
2.3.5.
Jiggers up. She bets a second time. Well, Kelly's bet does win her this pot. 19.1 million now her stack. This is our new lineup. How things look. It is Matt Wilkins out in front with 14.5 million in chips. Just slightly ahead of Bernard Harvey with 13.2. Lacquer and Passot, the shortest stack at this table with 8 big blinds as we now head to 125 to 50. So we are at that stage. It is hand for hand in the Millions North America Montreal Open. Remember, first prize in this tournament over $200,000 right now. For the short stacks, it's all about guaranteeing the minimum payday. That is $2,700 for 188th. Jean-Guy looks 6s in the hijack. 20 bigs. No mess around. He is all in, and Lacaran with jacks in the cutoff with a little more than 5 bigs. On the money bubble. This is horrible. I would not be surprised to see him fold here. I think a fold's fine. Min cash is 2.8 times the buy and 2.7 times the buy. Well, he does put the chips in. He's going to find he's in great shape. All right. They are now on their backs. Jean-Guy sees the situation he's in. Needs to find a 6 to knock out Lacaram. Ten, 10, 9. 3 on the turn. Jack on the river. Jacks full just for good measure.
You didn't need that one.
No more journey to the table.
Well, I'm sure we can figure out where that joke was going. Oh, I see Marty Matters there on this table. Champion of Millions South America in March. Trying to do the America double. You see cards being shuffled. Looks like we are going to play one more hand. Still 189 remain. And there's our last feature table. See Minkin still the mountain of chips for those asking. Oh, a crowd around a table will tell you just one thing. It must be an all-in and a call. And here we go. What are the hands? Looks like we have Ace-King against pocket sixes, and by the looks of it, Ace-King is the hand at risk. King 8-deuce. Ace-King in the lead, heading to the river. And the short stack doubles up. 180 people groan, one person celebrates. Alright, looks like we have another all-in. Looks like we have two hands all-in. Cards face down, of course, until after reveal. 7, 8, 9, 2 diamonds the board. We have Jack 10 against Jacks on 7, 8, 9. The Jacks need a 10-footer chop. Well, diamond draw.
Diamond.
3 on the end.
Oh, we hit a diamond sweat.
Good game, sir.
And that is that.
Thanks.
The bubble has burst. Millions North America, Montreal Open. Every player now guaranteed $2,700. As this unfortunate gentleman is the last to leave with no money. He is going to call to see a flop. The two of them will see the flop heads up, and it comes King 8-5, 2 diamonds. Arnold's aces still out in front, but Burner's going to like this flop. And Arnold's gone big, 1.7 million the bet. No messing around here, 4x pre, and then 1.7 on the flop. The turn. It is the 4 of diamonds. It's the card that will win Bernard the pot. Arnold checks back to see if he has a diamond.
All in.
He checks, and Bernard quickly moves all in. Well, I wouldn't do anything quickly on this card, but certainly wouldn't jam quickly. Oh, wow, Arnold just gets away from it. Big fold from Arnold. Arnold going to defend Jack 10 from the big blind. King 9 deuce. Griffin does c-bet 550. Arnold quickly makes the call with his straight draw. Ace of spades on the turn. Both players have a spade. Griffin's Jack ahead of Arnold's 10. Action goes check, check. 4 diamonds on the end. Arnold's cutting out a bluff here, but it looks like he's going too small. Only 850. Any bluff has to be a lot bigger than that.
Clear him out by now.
Griffin up to 9 million in chips.
Oh, even at the spades beating too. Nice. Aye.
Griffin finds tens. Against Arnold, it's not quite as pleasurable. Of course, it's still an all-in.
Go, man. Oh, they have. Exact same hand.
The same hand?
Yep.
Bicycle on the board. J'étais sweating in the little ball.
It's fine.
8-6-5, there we go. Arnold back in the game. Needs to avoid spades, running straight or a 10. And here comes the spades. Oh, it's a spade that pairs the board. It's the slow roll, and Griffin sees it a couple of seconds too late.
I'll take it, man. I'll take it. I needed it. Big time.
3 million.
Hey, t'es 8, t'es chanceux ce fois-là?
That's a TV hand, guys.
Hey, c'est la même main qu'avec moi.
Bernard certainly can call with tens. And that is what he has done. Turn to take on the tens, and he finds a queen. Just needs to avoid a 10 on the end. Okay, doubles back up to where he was before, 10 million in chips. Keller jams 7-5 from the button. Matt will make the call with ace-3 in the big blind for praising some of those new 1 million chips.
To call?
There it is, 4 on the end, straight for Khaled. Up to 7 million in chips.
Straight. Fold.
Bernard limping again, this time queen 4 suited. Khaled jamming at 7s from the hijack. Arnold will rejam ace king suited from the big blind. And we're going to have a huge flip here between Khaled and Arnold.
Open up.
Ace it is! Ace on the river. Well, Khaled hit the river a minute ago himself to double up. Now it's the river that takes it away from him. And Arnold all of a sudden 17 million in chips. Where do they come from? Dash opening under the gun. King, queen. Jason flats the next seat with tens. Jack, jack, 10. Whoa, Griffin is kicking himself of holding jack 9, but little does he know, he would have walked straight into the flopped boat of Jason. Dash though, with his open-ended straight draw on 2 overs. Try and put some pressure on pocket pairs. Some ace highs. 2.5 the bet. Easy call for Jason holding that boat. Dash needs to miss here. The worst thing he could do now is catch an ace or 9. That's exactly what he's done. Ace on the turn gives him Broadway. Already 10 million chips in the middle. Dash for just 8 million. 3.5 it looks like the turn bit is, pardon me. 4.4, those greens, of course 1 million is not the 500Ks. Well, club on the river, not a card Dash will be happy to see, but he is going to move in with his straight regardless. And Jason calls with his full house, and that is the end of Dash. Jason up to 32 million in chips. Well, how happy is Griffin now? I think he has around 15 bigs in the big blind. Maybe a little less. And Matthew does just rip it in. Fun sweat for Sean. He finds a call. He's found 9s. Ace 8-4. 2 diamonds there. Matthew has a 7 of diamonds.
Just a king will do it. And Sean now up to 17 million. I say Matt. Oh, a little bit more. Matt down to 6.5 million.
Heads up.
Check about.
$1 million.
Jason's gonna bet his 3 deuce on 6-4 deuce. Sean continuing to slow play his jacks. Jason way out of line here, but has turned us straight. And Sean's going to find this one a little hard to believe.
$2.4.
Sean probably wasn't expecting to face a bet on that card. It's a card that favours him over the pre-flop razor. Be a little suspicious and a little wary. Top card repeats. $10.3 chips, 10.3 million chips in the pot. Jason doesn't have to bet big here. Some in the region of 4 million would be good. 4.7. Does have a lot of missed draws he could be repping here. And Sean does flick it in. Sometimes you slow play a hand, it's very hard to let it go. Matthew nods in approval. He likes to deuce 3 off. Sean with jacks. Well, instant chance for reprieve himself with this hand.
All in.
And the same hand. For sure.
King, Queen, 10. Sean needs an ace, jack, or 9. Otherwise, it'll be Matthew doubling up late here. Sure enough, river a brick. Matthew back to 15 million chips. Sean now the one with just 10 big blinds. Pocket jacks twice in the space of 3 hands. And he's lost 3/4 of his chips.
Yeah, we need to do 3 heads.
The last man with the last action will be Bernard. And that is it for your coverage of day 2 of the Montreal Open. See in the graphic there, it looks like 64 players still remain.
All right, everyone, I need you to write your full name, your ID number, and your chip count.
That's how this table finishes. When they come back tomorrow, they'll be playing 350k, 700k. But we will not be coming back at the start of the day tomorrow. Given there are 64 players left, it's going to be a very long day tomorrow.